So these selections of poems are from a book that I'm working on right now. I'm going to read the title poem and then the next three that I have at least written in the book. I'm spending this semester with Justin in an independent study, kind of focusing on this and trying to kind of flesh it out and finally, hopefully, get my first book out there. So the first piece is called Red Eye from Dakota. My daughter sits in my lap playing with the loose strings of the seat back in front of her. While her mother sleeps, she looks out the window and counts the stars, names all of them: Christopher, Hannah, Rachel, Tim. She names until her eyes fall softly closed and hides her face in my jacket's arm. I kiss her forehead and place a blanket over her. She tosses and turns in my arms. Her mother wakes up and takes her. She falls still in her arms and sleeps under her mother's breath. A huge thing I'm trying to focus on with these new pieces is that I've pretty much been lying to my readers for 2 years. I haven't really enjoyed at least the last year of work that I've been doing. It's taxed me to a level that I really haven't, found myself in any kind of composure about it. But with these, I have just been stealing trip photos off Facebook from my friends and writing poems about that. So this one kind of came from my buddy Mitch, who had been up in the kind of Four Corners area on his way to Salt Lake with me a couple of weeks ago. And it's called East Sonora. Twisted diamondback dirt roads lined with cigarette butts and old maps, chipped rocks, rusted out pipelines, and stagnant pools of rainwater, built and toppled over columns of aluminum beer cans that crown Pabst kings and queens. Tanned backs and tits carved through cut through knee-high bush and fuck in the shadows of burnt-out Chevys. Years have passed by them while stuck in their youth, they relive one last triumph. The sun sets over the red mountains, coyotes begin their howl, the drinking and the music ends, and I sing a goodnight song to my daughter while her mother drinks the last of her coffee and puts out the fire. And I guess something I should have started with this is I'm working this book to be a kind of journey through the United States and touching at least 20-ish states that I've been to in my life. And I'm working through the eyes of the father and the mother and the daughter through persona for the last two. And this one right here is persona from the mother's point of view. And my father actually paid me the best compliment that I've ever received from him about my work, where I showed him this poem, he finished it, and he said, no, I did this. This wasn't you whatsoever. I was like, no, well, I mean, I lied anyway, but thank you. It's called The Santa Fe Rainstorm. The paint is chipping off the park bench, and the wood is begging to wear down and splinter into our hands as we hold on to the edges, pretending we're flying again. She sits and picks the petals off flowers sprouting up to her knees. She plucks one from the ground and hands it to her daddy. He smells it and takes in their life, placing it in her hair, giggles and runs off while he chases. The town is quiet today. Clouds have moved in and a light rain has begun. The juggler who had been entertaining tourists and shop owners begins to pack up his bats, his balls, and places them back into his suitcase. They walk off slowly. The couple sitting across from us begins to stand and leave. They walk off slowly, his right arm wrapped around the newspaper and hers wrapped around his other. Daddy comes back holding his little girl's hand and grabs mine. He leans in and kisses me while our little girl blushes and covers her eyes. And this last piece I have for you guys, I actually stole from my friend Emma, who's sitting in the back over there. She used to live in Georgia, and she came to me one day with this story about her old town and just kind of walking through this overgrowth of trees in her neighborhood. And I really just kind of loved that image, and I am stealing it from her. So there's that. It's called Georgia's Peach. Walking through the overgrowth of the oak trees, my little girl dances between the beams of light that break the canopy and fall onto the earth. She jumps from one to the other, humming a tune that she sings when she plays with the other girls at school. She sees a peach tree off to the right in the preacher's yard. It is Sunday morning, and he is leading his congregation through the words of the gospel and singing hymns that fall into chorus with my baby girl. She runs to the tree and stares up at the fruit that are just beginning to blossom. She asks me to hold her so that she may touch them, so she can run her fingers over the hairs that tickle her. She plucks the first ripe one of the season and brings it down to show her mother. Her mother brushes it off on her dress, hands it back to her so that she may eat. And that is it. Thank you.